last event of the second day of the 15th annual function of Lamakan. So before I begin, I would request one of our very important staff members, Sahadev, to kindly address the gathering. Sahadev.
मेरा नाम सहदेव, मैं 3 साल से काम कर रहा हूँ लामाकान में। 15 साल एनिवर्सरी में आप सबको स्वागत है। धन्यवाद।
So it's my rare pleasure to introduce this event to you. The book, Talat Mahmood, the definitive biography by Seher Zama. And the book dwells into the life and career of legendary Indian playback singer Talat Mahmood Sahab. And this is an in-depth biography and which provides comprehensive look at the Talat Mahmood Sahab's life, his early days, his rise to fame and lasting impact on the Indian music. And his grandniece, Seher Zama, is going to offer a lot of unique and personal insights into Talat Mahmood Sahab's life and personality. The book also explores the significant contribution to Indian film music, highlighting his signature style and memorable songs. So to do the honors, I would request one of the founders of Lamakan, Ashar Farhan, to kindly come forward and occupy the seat at the dais. And he would also going to introduce the speaker in detail. Over to Farhan.
Thank you, Naeem. We have a little bit of a twist here that some of the people who are here for the book launch have to leave early, especially Mangalaji. Probably, half of you were here for her performance, her troops performance as well, and she needs to leave. So we will start with the book launch first. And then we'll get on to a discussion about the book, about Seher herself, and Talat Mahmood, of course. So can I just invite Seher to please tashrif le aiye aap. And I'll also invite Khalil Saab, please come to the stage. Mangala ji, aap hain? I just saw. Raghav ji, I'll call them one by one. Haan. Raghav ji, please. तशरीफ ले आइए. They are a national treasure, but we are fortunate to have them in Hyderabad, both of them, wife and husband. They have been conferred with the Sangeet Natak Academy Award recently. They are Kathak exponents of international renown. अरे ऐसे आ जाइए. She's used to, she's the artist. So, yeah. Humera, she wanted you to be here as well. And yeah, give out the books to. Yeah, you just have to put it. Yeah. And yeah, yeah. So this is the book. Mubarak, बहुत आपको.
Thank you so much. This is a very, very special moment. Hyderabad is very special for Talat Nana and for the tributes that we've been doing here. I'm very grateful to Lamakan because मैंने जब किताब लिखी 2024 उनका जन्म शताब्दी था, his centenary year, और मैं बहुत महीनों से कोशिश कर रही थी कि Hyderabad में आना हो. So I am so grateful to Lamakan for their support to be able to do this. हमारे साथ खलीक भाई हैं. हमने 2017 में एक म्यूज़िक ट्रिब्यूट कॉन्सर्ट किया था जिसका जश्न तलत नाम था. उसमें खलीक भाई ने बहुत सपोर्ट किया. तो मैं चाहती थी कि जिन ने मुझे 2017 में भी तलत नाना के मेमोरी को सपोर्ट किया वो भी इस ओकेजन से जुड़े, बिकॉज इट्स अ वेरी इमोशनल मोमेंट. और राघव राज जी और मंगला जी भी 2017 में उन्होंने परफॉर्म किया था. तलत नाना के क्लासिकल गानों पे कथक किया था और बेहद मोहब्बत के साथ वो आए मंच पे. तो मैं गुजारिश करूँगी कि आप लोग सब कुछ दो लफ्ज़ बोलें बिफोर वी स्टार्ट द बुक टॉक. पहले
Thank you very much. And indeed, it is a wonderful evening, and I'm really privileged and honored to be here. And as very rightly said by Sahar ji, that way back in 2017, the Hyderabad had the honor of hosting Sahar ji and also organizing a musical event in Hyderabad at the historical venue Salarjung Museum. And in fact, who would like to get associated with this personality? For which one has to be really blessed and privileged and honored. So I think I got that opportunity, luckily, I would say. Otherwise, there were many more people in Hyderabad who were competing, in fact. But she was really kind enough to have chosen us for this. And I'm really so glad to be here on this very auspicious occasion today evening, especially when Sahar is going to talk all about what is there in the book and much more beyond and behind these two, in fact, I'm sure. And I'm also grateful to Farhan Bhai, and I also would like to congratulate him for the 15th anniversary of Lamaka, because as we all know, Lamaka is a cultural space, the first of its cultural space in Hyderabad, or I would say in the entire South India, because I'm not really too sure about the other cities. But as far as Hyderabad is concerned, because it is our city, so I can proudly say that Lamaka, in fact, used to be once upon a time a hangout place for me too, in fact. Yeah. And I remember Saharji also had one of the events here, in fact. I think one of the talks here, actually. Yeah. So, and thank you very much, Saharji. You आपने Hyderabad. I think, that she'll talk about it, I think. I'll leave that. That's her domain, so I wouldn't like to get into that. But I remember she was also part of 2017, and even Tawseef Akhtar Sahab was here, and Radhika Chopra ji was here. So it was all the galaxy of the stars who were present, in fact. So, and I am also, thrilled to see so many lively, the vibrant people of Hyderabad here, especially my dear brother and friend, my well-wisher Amir Bhai, because he in fact adds a lot of value and a glitter to every event he attends. So thank you very much.
अच्छा हम लोग भी तलत साहब को सुनते सुनते हम लोग बड़े हुए हैं. सो उनकी जो मिठास है और कथक की जो खूबसूरती है, सटलिटी है, वो इतना आपस में इतना मेल खा रहा था जब सैर जी ने कहा कि एंड शी एक्चुअली chased us because it is not our own choice to do on the film. No, I'm going to the point. Coming to that point that it was all classical based and very inspirational. So we thought ki, yes, this is the area we did not explore so far, and we can once attempt to do it. I mean, we can do it. So we did it, and it came out very well, and it was at Salarjung Museum. So the museum atmosphere, everything was so जैसे एक दूसरे को पूरक है. So of course she was very, actually you convinced us. Yeah. So I thank whole of her family. He was also there, your husband was also there. Radhika ji was also there. So it was a very good memories, and we performed on 2 or 3 compositions, I think. It was a lovely evening. Thank you so much. And we both are very happy to be part of her book. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll start the discussion on the book now. Much more details of his inspiring life story. Thank you.
Sir, I'll actually not start with Talat Mahmood himself or with the book, but मेरा सवाल ये है कि how and why were you born in the family of Talat Mahmood? Yeah, I mean, none of us were born in that family, right? You were born. So, what did you do to get there?
This is like a question to the journalist: where, what,
Yes.
when, how.
Exactly.
I'll tell you how.
Okay.
Why तो जवाब उसका
Yeah.
ऊपर वाले ही देंगे. तलत महमूद साहब मेरे नाना होते हैं, मगर वो मेरे मामू नाना है. तो मेरी अम्मी के मामू थे वो, और उस लिहाज से वो मेरे नाना हुए, मेरे नानी के भाई. And it's of course a privilege to be born into this family, mashallah, who had such an
course.
inspiring artist.
Yeah.
And growing up, I didn't think much about it. Even, in fact, even.
No, but tell me this. I mean,
Yes.
you walk into the house and Talat Mahmood is sitting there. Is that how it works?
Yes, we used to have our summer holidays in Bombay,
Okay.
in Mumbai. And I used to live out of the city. I used to live abroad when I was growing up. तो हम लोग गर्मी की छुट्टी में आते थे यहाँ पे. और I'll just turn a bit. और बॉम्बे में हम अपने स्कूल की गर्मी की छुट्टी गुजारते थे.
अच्छा.
एंड तो जैसे ख़ानदान में लोगों को बुलाते हैं, ये नाना जान होंगे, ये बड़े नाना जान होंगे, ये छोटे नाना जान होंगे, तो बच्चे के लिए बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड होता है ये सब.
Yeah.
तो मेरे भाई ने बोला, जो मुझसे 4 साल बड़े हैं, उन्होंने बोला कि ये छोड़ो, ये सब छोड़ो, ये हमारे नाना बम्बई में रहते हैं तो उनको बम्बई नाना बुलाएंगे. तो so soon enough, a few years ago, that became national headlines when I started talking about my relationship and the tributes and all that. Talat Mahmood is Bombay Nana. तो हम उनको बम्बई नाना बुलाते थे. एंड मेमोरीज उनके साथ, बिकॉज आई स्पेंट माई a lot of my childhood time with him, and then till up to college when he passed away in 1998. I had just entered college. मगर उनके साथ जो बातचीत होती थी वो उसी तरीके की होती थी जो एक बच्चे की नाना के साथ होती है. I didn't really get into technical details of the golden era and ghazal and shairi and all of that. I knew a lot about it, but I didn't directly speak to him a lot about
But were
it.
you aware of the presence
Yes.
of a once in a generation artist in the
Yes,
family?
and till I was about, I think, 12 years onwards, one began to realize. Because when I was 12 years, he received the Padma Bhushan. And we were there with him in Delhi that
Did you
same
go to the,
evening. No, but
Rashtrapati
we
Bhavan?
went to his hotel later.
Okay.
That is, of course, very limited
Right.
entry. So when I was 12, he received the Padma Bhushan. So that was, of course, right in front of our eyes. So you begin to realize much more of what a towering presence. But he was so sweet and simple, and he was just like Bombay Nana at home.
Right.
That he didn't carry himself. He carried himself very lightly all the time. घर पे तो है ही, मगर even with people outside, I've
But
seen
जैसे
how
घर
he
में
interacted with
during
fans.
the normal conversations, was there a lot of talk about music as well, or was he, involved with other stuff? I mean,
He was involved with taking us around sightseeing in Bombay. He was involved with taking us out for ice cream treats, Juhu, Chowpatty, Bandra, around, meeting his friends. I have very fond memories of spending time with Manna Dey Saab.
Oh, really?
Manna Dey was a very close friend of his in Bombay. And then if I wanted to see a shoot, he would arrange for some shoots. So those are the
I'm getting angry now. You say you've met Manna Dey. Somebody, your Nana would take you to. It's okay, I'll control this. But
No, but the thing is that I just met them as a child.
Of course,
if I
yeah.
met them today as a journalist,
Yeah.
gosh, sometimes I wonder. I should have kind of refixed the timeline of my life.
But as you're growing as a journalist, how did it strike you that there's a story here? Or what was that point, when you said, oh, it's a book to be done? Or did it start out as something else and became a book?
That is true. It started out as something else and then gradually became a book. As I was busy in my professional journalism life, ironically, I never spoke about this connection with him because I was into current affairs and political journalism. It's an entirely different world.
Right.
Entirely different subjects. In fact, to the extent that even my colleagues who were Bollywood reporters didn't know about it.
Wow.
I just never spoke about it. And I've been a journalist now for about 24, 25 years. And I would say I started speaking about it only when I was into 12, 14 years of being a journalist. So literally mid-career, I started speaking about it. And the reason why I started speaking about it is because मेरे दिमाग में ख्याल आया कि मुझे एक ट्रिब्यूट कॉन्सर्ट उनके नाम करना ज़रूरी है. तो जब आप एक ट्रिब्यूट कॉन्सर्ट करते हैं, then you start telling people because you're looking for funds, you're looking for partners, you're looking for sponsorship, तब तो बात करनी पड़ती है उसके बारे में. So when I started talking about it, my colleagues were very annoyed because they said, इतने सालों से तुमने कभी इसका जिक्र ही नहीं किया. Especially my Bollywood reporters, colleagues and all. So they said, it's amazing, it's one of the best kept secrets in the industry, it seems. But once I started talking about it and people started coming forward and supporting it, and then about 5-6 years of doing that concert, I realized I started researching more about his career as a journalist, and then I realized कि इनकी जो जीवन कथा है, इनकी जो ज़िंदगी की कहानी है, वो 2-3 घंटे के कॉन्सर्ट में फिट नहीं हो सकती. उसके लिए किताब लिखना ज़रूरी है. और आई थिंक सबकॉन्शियसली एक जर्नलिस्ट हमेशा टाइमिंग के बारे में, ब्रेकिंग न्यूज़ के बारे में, दैट जस्ट बिकम्स पार्ट ऑफ योर थिंकिंग. और 2022 में मुझे ये ख्याल आया कि अगर 2024 में इनकी सेंटिनरी है तो मैं 22 में लिखना शुरू करूं, करते करते 2 साल में तैयार होगी. सो दैट्स हाउ इट वर्कड.
Fantastic. By the way, this book, is written in a very unusual style. होता ये है कि जैसे एक चैप्टर होता है 50 सफ़े का, जिसमें उनके बचपन के बारे में होता है, उनके गांव के बारे में होता है, शहर के बारे में होता है, फिर और एक होता है कि उनके कॉलेज में क्या हुआ, ऐसे ऐसे. ये जो हैं, हर आर्टिकल 2 या 3 सफ़े से ज़्यादा का नहीं है. They are short, very journalistic kind of pieces, which just deal with one incident or one aspect or one turn in his life. So it's a very readable book that way. I've been reading it for the last 4-5 days, and I can just pick up the book and read one piece for about 5 minutes and then keep it back. And there are about probably I don't know, 100 से ज़्यादा हैं.
Yeah, I mean the contents page in itself would spill into 5 pages.
So it's you just flip through it, and the content you see, oh, Talat Mahmood was the first person to do world tours from India, and then you flip there and then you read all about the world tours that he started. He was the first actually guy to do world tours of as an Indian artist. So just getting into the book, and this book is available on Amazon, right?
Yes, Amazon India, Amazon International, as well as another platform which is Notion Press.
Okay, all right. So it's done as a new generation thing where you don't go through Penguin or any of the publishers, but it's published digitally with Amazon, who's the largest distributor of books in the world. And it's a very good read because she's herself a journalist, so it's a very engaging style. But tell me this. You've written it as a journalist, right? Not as the grandniece.
Yes, I was very conscious of that fact.
Oh, okay.
Because as a journalist, you have to be true to the story.
Right.
And this was one of the biggest stories I was doing, in the sense the length of it. The book is about 90,000 words. And घर में इसकी बहुत बातें हुई कि because he led an adventurous life.
Right.
And some of the adventures were also had caused friction at home.
For example?
For example, of course, stepping out and deciding to be a commercial singer.
Oh.
Because हम उस वक्त की बात कर रहे हैं जहाँ Indian Muslim families were largely conservative, very cultural, very educated and involved with the arts, But as far as entering the arts professionally,
Yourself, you don't perform, right? You
Yes,
appreciate
you don't-
performances.
yes.
People will come to your house and perform for you, but you will
बिल्कुल
not perform
आप वो
yourself, right?
बैठक करिए, मौसीकी की बैठक करिए, मुशायरे की बैठक करिए, पेट्रन बनिए आर्ट का,
Right.
मगर आप खुद कमर्शियली उससे ना कमाएं.
Yeah,
So that is
yeah.
where the line was drawn, and that is something that he had to jump over, and it caused some friction at home with his father, and his aunt was very supportive, who kept pacifying the father, saying that, you know, he's a special child with a special voice and you must support him. Well, the father did support him to the extent के घर पे फिर मास्टर जी को बुलाया, और फिर उनका college education, he didn't want to study any further, but the family, the father put his foot down and said कि पढ़ाई पूरी करना ज़रूरी है, अधूरी मत छोड़ो. तो स्कूल ख़त्म किया, स्कूल के बाद he said मैं क्या करूँ, मुझे तो गायक ही बनना है. So he said ठीक है, मैं bachelor's में music पढ़ूंगा. So that was in Lucknow. Since we're Lucknow family, तो वो भाटखंडे यूनिवर्सिटी में था, which is still the
Oh,
foremost.
yes, of course,
और
yeah.
British time में 1930s में when he was a college student, तो भाटखंडे used to be called the Maris College of
Okay.
Music, the Maris Music College. तो so उनके वालिद साहब ने उनको education तक support किया.
Okay.
थोड़ा you know slowly pushing the envelope, धीरे करते करते trying his luck, keep pushing the envelope. फिर उसके बाद because he was such a bright student, उन दिनों में campus recruitments होते थे music labels के.
Okay.
तो कैलकटा से HMV आए campus recruitment के लिए, तो उनको बोला गया कि तलत एक बहुत ही foremost student है, आप इनको ले जाइए recording के लिए. So when he was 19-20 years old, he had his first commercial release recording in Calcutta.
And this was in which language?
This was the first, it was an Urdu ghazal.
Okay.
Before that, his first ever recording was at the age of 16, because AIR Lucknow
All India
उसी
Radio.
वक्त
जी.
launch हुआ था.
Right.
1930s में AIR Lucknow launch हुआ, because it was already there in Delhi and in Lahore and in Calcutta, of course. तो लखनऊ में launch हुआ, then he decided to try his luck there. So he was already a radio recording artist when he entered college. He was like already a star student when he entered college. And then from there, HMV took him. So that was one of the things, the skirmish with the family, that, you know, how much of it should be written, how much of it should be spoken about. And then getting married, he got married in Calcutta, whereas his family was
Was it a
looking...
love marriage or?
It was a very much, absolutely, sensational love marriage. While his family was looking for him for a Lucknow girl.
Right.
So that was the second.
So a lot of Zalim
he's-
Samaj played its part
Yes.
card here, right? Okay.
Absolutely. But as the question that you asked was that I was, it was not even like a tightrope walk, but I've written this more as a journalist. Of course, you can feel the love and the
Right.
fondness while you read the book that I have for him. But I had to be true to the story, so
Right.
there's everything. in
So,
the book.
I mean, as a piece of journalism, what I found there was this really amazing thing that Talat Mahmood, you know, I mean, both in his music and his personality, you think that he is a very shy, withdrawn person who sort of, you know, get along with everything. But he actually stood up for the rights of the singers. And that's actually a big story that you know, talk about in your book of how he
Yes.
stood up for the rights, as opposed to the label companies to say that, you know, they should,
Yeah. In fact, we can play that out as well
Okay.
as an introduction to the book.
Right. Yeah, sure. Okay.
We play that out as the first video.
By the way, with these videos, if there's music, you are invited and asked to hum along. Okay, so please do that.
ये हवा ये रात ये चांदनी तेरी एक अदा बेनसार है ये हवा ये रात ये चांदनी तेरी एक अदा बेनसार है मुझे क्यों न हो तेरी यार तेरी जुस्तजू में बहार है ये हवा ये रात ये चांदनी है ओ बेखबर, तुझे क्या खबर है ओ बेखबर, ये हवा.
So, this song actually for me has a particular nostalgia that my friend's father was a big fan of Talat Mahmood, and he would actually sing this when he was in a good mood for us kids, which is very rare, but once in a while he would
Right.
actually, play this out.
So this puts you in a good mood.
Yes, of course. So, I mean, and what would happen was that, so a lot of these songs we have actually heard our parents hum, right? Because there was very little, otherwise there was just All India Radio and वो भूले बिसरे गीत का जो
जी.
1:30 बजे दोपहर में होता था. But they were very singable and hummable, things which were very,
Yes,
it looked
and-
easy. I mean, they were not easy, of course, but,
Yeah.
he made them look very
Right.
hummable and, pop. That's how they became. So, but back to this story of, standing up for the rights of the singers.
Yes.
So, how did that come about? It's mentioned in your book, of course, but
Yes. So while writing the book, I had noticed down the years that whenever there is a Talat Mahmood tribute, it's of course part of his raison d'être that he's called the king of ghazals and the शहंशाह ghazal. तो सारे मीडिया में जितने भी ट्रिब्यूट्स लिखे जाते थे हर साल उनके बर्थ एनिवर्सरी में, डेथ एनिवर्सरी में, वो इसी तक लिमिटेड थे. ऑफ कोर्स ही वाज अ जाइगेंटिक प्रेजेंस. He established the market value of the ghazal music industry in India today. The ghazal music industry literally rests on his shoulders. And मगर वो headline वही रहती थी. मगर उनके personality के इतने ज़्यादा और aspects थे that I wanted more headlines coming in from the book based on his other aspects. So being an activist was a very important part of his personality.
Wow,
And that comes as a surprise to people because, मखमली आवाज़ है, soft spoken
Right, soft
इंसान
spoken,
है. बहुत ही जेंटल है, तो ये कैसे एक एक्टिविस्ट, वो भी ऐसा एक्टिविस्ट जो बैठ के प्रोटेस्ट करे,
right.
तो so that's why I titled that Talat the Activist as well, तो रॉयल्टी राइट्स का आपने सुना होगा, प्लेबैक सिंगर्स का बहुत पुरानी लड़ाई चल रही है. और 1960s में लता मंगेशकर जी जो उनकी दोस्त थी, उन्होंने पहले इसका मेंशन किया, तो उनको कुछ लेबल से सिर्फ अपने ही लता दीदी को सिर्फ अपने ही गाने के लिए रॉयल्टी मिलती थी. बट व्हेन बम्बई नाना बिकेम the secretary of the Playback Singers Association, एक group होता था Playback Singers Association. When he became the secretary of that, he took it up as a cause for the entire industry. So then his friends Lata Didi, Mukesh ji joined in, and Manna Dey came in, Kishore Kumar came in. Then later Mohammad Rafi Saab and Asha Bhosle also came in. So it became like an industry battle.
Union, yeah.
And he was
Unionized
there,
it.
the secretary of that, leading this. So it was a 3-month protest. आप 1960s में सोचिए कि अगर 3 महीनों के लिए mic down, like you put your pen down, so a mic down protest. उसका मतलब है recording बंद हो गई है. Singers ने they've shut the door on the studio. Singers recording नहीं कर रहे हैं 3 महीनों के लिए. तो producers की हालत, music labels की हालत बहुत ख़राब हो गई, Then of course there was friction और किसी ने misunderstanding create की जिसके लिए some singers started singing. और वो फिर fizzle out हो गया. But it was the first big step. And that was led by Bombay Nana. और उसका हम लोग उसके भी rewards अभी देख रहे हैं. अभी जो एक group है Isamra, which is for playback singers as well as lyricists, तो उनको royalty rights मिलते हैं. So we've seen it fruition decades later, but वो पहल as a force to reckon with, वो तलत नाना से शुरू हुई.
And did the actors support this? There were a lot of actors he was very close to. I know that he had a very special relationship with Dilip Kumar Sahab and Shammi Kapoor Sahab. But did they play this or they stood out?
I don't think they managed to convince him.
Okay.
The protest broke away only because certain singers started recording on the
okay.
sly,
Oh,
so
wow.
to say, and that's how it broke away. Yeah.
But talking about Dilip Sahab, they had a very close relationship, right? In fact, he came to be associated as the voice of Dilip Kumar
Yeah.
in movies. And even Shami Kapoor. Shami Kapoor
Yes.
started with him, right?
Yes, his first few films were with Talat Nana. First few hits, so to say.
So,
Yeah.
which hits are we talking about here? Because people usually associate, Shami Kapoor with very,
Yeah.
yeah,
That was his Mohammad Rafi phase.
Yeah, Mohammad Ali,
Yeah.
Yahoo and
Yeah.
those.
तो जैसे मिजाज का एक गाना है ए गमे दिल क्या करूं ए वहशते दिल क्या करूं दिस इज ऑन शम्मी
Yeah.
कपूर
Oh.
या
Wow. What a beautiful song that was. Fabulous song. And then, of course, the Dilip Kumar phase was his earlier phase, right? And
No,
your-
not
yeah.
earlier, but the I think the most significant part of his filmy career and all songs and जो भी उनके उस phase के थे. I mean, of course, there were other romantic peppy numbers as well, but the phase that defined Dilip Kumar as the tragedy king,
Right.
that was with Talat's voice.
"Ae Dil Mujhe."
Yes, in fact, मेरे एक बुक टॉक में पेपरबैक उद्घाटन के टाइम मुजफ्फर अली साहब आए थे
जी।
बात करने. अब मैं उन्हीं को कोट करती हूँ बिकॉज आई कांट इनकैप्सुलेट इट एनी बेटर
Okay.
एंड आई कांट ओन इट आइदर. बट ही सेड अ वेरी डेयरिंग थिंग एंड बट आई लव्ड व्हाट ही सेड, सो आई हैव टू से इट नाउ. तो उन्होंने कहा कि हम लोग दिलीप कुमार साहब की ट्रेजेडी किंग की बात करते हैं कि इट इज़ सिनेमैटिक हिस्ट्री, वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट चैप्टर्स, मगर वो तलत की आवाज़ के बिना इनकम्प्लीट था. तो मुजफ्फर अली साहब ने बोला कि मैं तो ये कहूँगा कि आवाज़ ऐसी थी तलत की जो दिलीप को अमर कर गई.
Oh, wow.
So he completely turned it around and there was such beauty in it.
Yes.
And if you want, we can listen to one
Sure.
of those songs.
Yeah, of course.
We'll play the song, song number 1, and then I'll give the story behind it.
All right. Okay. Please, I invite you all to join in the song.
ऐ दिल मुझे ऐसी जगा ले चल जहाँ कोई ना हो. ऐ दिल मुझे ऐसी जगा ले चल जहाँ कोई ना हो. अपना कराया मेहरबाना मेहरबान कोई ना हो. ऐ दिल मुझे ऐसी जगा ले चल जहाँ कोई ना हो. जाकर कहीं खो जाऊं मैं नींद आए और सो जाऊं मैं नींद आए और सो जाऊं मैं. जाकर कहीं खो जाऊं मैं नींद आए और सो जाऊं मैं नींद आए और सो जाऊं मैं. दुनिया मुझे ढूंढे मगर मेरा निशान कोई न हो. दुनिया मुझे ढूंढे मगर मेरा निशान कोई न हो. उल्फत का बदला मिल गया, वो गम लुटा वो दिल गया, वो गम लुटा वो दिल गया. उल्फत का बदला मिल गया लुटा वो दिल गया, वो गम लुटा वो दिल गया। चलना है सबसे दूर दूर अब कारवां कोई न हो। चलना है सबसे दूर दूर अब कारवां कोई न हो। अपना पराया मेहरबाना मेहरबान कोई न हो। ऐ दिल मुझे ऐसी जगह ले चल।
क्या गाना है, वाह, what a song.
ब्यूटिफुल। आप में से किसको पता है किसका म्यूजिक था इसमें? बहुत उनके अजीज म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर थे एंड वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन हिज करियर।
विश्वास का आनंद?
यस, बिल्कुल, अनिल बिस्वास दा, अनिल दा वो उनको बुलाते थे। एंड दिस इज अ 1950 फिल्म,
Okay.
the year 1950. So in 1950, he started his career in Calcutta because during British India and in the build up to independence, the showbiz entertainment industry used to be in Calcutta. तो सब लोग Calcutta में recording करते थे। मगर independence के बाद Calcutta was slipping down commercially, and then the film industry shifted to Bombay. So this was the stage in his life when Talat Nana once again had to shift base. एक तो अपने लखनऊ के वालिद साहब के घर से गुस्से में छोड़ के गए, कैलकाटा में अपने आप को इस्टेब्लिश किया, और फिर कैलकाटा से ही डिसाइडेड कि अब सिंस बॉम्बे इज कमिंग अप एज एन इंडस्ट्री, वन शुड गो टू बॉम्बे। और वहाँ वो कैलकाटा में ऑलरेडी एक इस्टेब्लिश नाम थे। गज़लें जब वो गाते थे तलत महमूद के नाम गाते थे, मगर बंगाली सॉन्ग्स की इंडस्ट्री बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग थी, तो उनको बोला गया कि आप बंगाली में भी गाइए। सो ही बिकेम वेरी पॉपुलर एज तपन कुमार। He used to sing Bengali songs. So when he made that shift from Calcutta to Bombay, he was very confident कि मैं तो अब एक established singer हूँ, and Bombay will be a cakewalk. Unlike Calcutta, which had a brief waiting period till he got his commercials. I mean, the first was a big hit, but Bombay he felt अब तो मैं established हूँ, but that didn't happen because Bombay आपको हमेशा it always tests you.
Of course.
That is the character of the city. आप जो भी हो वो आपको जरूर घिसेगा. So that's what Bombay did. And music directors didn't like his vibrato. It was much more appreciated in Bengali songs. और गज़लों में भी था. Yes.
हेमंत कुमार and all.
Yes, and very orchestral music. But यहाँ बॉम्बे में जो production houses थे, जो music directors थे, उनको इनका vibrato पसंद नहीं आ रहा था. तो suddenly he didn't have any songs. And he said, अगर बॉम्बे में if I can't crack it, my career is over. And that's when Anil Biswas came in his life. He called him for a recording. और इसके और भी बहुत सारे details हैं जो किताब में बहुत मज़ेदार details हैं. First अनिल दा thought कि ये तो इतना खूबसूरत नौजवान है, ये acting का audition, ये acting का audition करने गया है. So he shouted at him, तुम मेरे पास क्यों आए हो, तुम जाओ यहाँ से. Then later he realized he's the same Tapan Kumar. Then he called him back for an audition. And when he did that audition, he became so conscious of his vibrato कि उन्होंने बहुत सख्ती से control करके सीधी सीधी आवाज़ में गाया. So Anil Da said कि where is Talat Mahmood? Where is that vibrato? And we will make sure this vibrato is your USP. So this was the song that
launched him in Bombay.
Yes, huh?
This is the song that broke him into the Bombay
yes,
industry.
absolutely. Where he became a commercial hit in Bombay, which started his very, very beautiful partnership with Anil Biswas ji, and also started his partnership with Dilip Kumar and friendship with Dilip Kumar. Then they were always singing, he was always singing for him. They were always having family get-togethers, and they shared the same interests in literature and poetry. And both of them were similar people, मिजाज से similar थे.
जी जी.
तो उनकी दिलीप कुमार साहब के साथ फिर it was also the start of a very deep friendship.
But talking about, same interest in poetry, there's a chapter in your book about his interaction with Faiz.
Yes.
And his trip to Pakistan, and how Noor Jahan wanted him to stay back in Pakistan. Can you just talk about that a bit?
So this was in the 1960s. और आई थिंक इंडिपेंडेंस के बाद वो पहली बार जा रहे थे वहाँ पे एंड वन ऑफ हिज ब्रदर्स हैड माइग्रेटेड हु वाज barely 1 year elder to him and he was very close to him, so it was a very emotional trip. So he wanted to keep it a private personal trip, मगर वो खबर ऐसी फैल गई कराची में that he had to step out and start doing shows and all, a few shows and बैठक्स. और लाहौर वो जा नहीं पाए तो उन्होंने ख़ास स्पेशली 2 गज़लें फैज़ की रिकॉर्ड की थी और वो एलपी उनके लाहौर उनके घर भेजा था. एंड आई स्पोक
फैज अहमद फैज को भेजे वो
जी बिल्कुल. एंड आई स्पोक टू सलीमा हाशमी जी हु इज़ फैज अहमद फैज डॉटर. सो आई स्पोक टू हर व्हाइल राइटिंग द बुक एंड शी शेयर्ड हर चाइल्डहुड मेमोरीज कि जब वो रिकॉर्ड घर पे आया हम उसको लूप पे सुनते रहते थे बार बार और बहुत अफसोस कि वो लाहौर नहीं आ पाए.
तो ये कौन सी गजलें थी जो उन्होंने उनकी do you remember them?
I'm sorry, I forget. We'll have to refer
ठीक,
from
कोई
the
बात
book.
नहीं, जी.
And but they're very very difficult. They have a very non-linear composition, and it's very difficult to sing as well. But yes, I'm so sorry. I
No,
forget right
that's
now.
perfectly fine.
और तो मगर कराची में बहुत मजमा लग गया. EMI जो रिकॉर्डिंग लेबल था, they did a special evening with him to come get your LPs record signed by Talat. और फिर एक कॉन्सर्ट हुआ था ऑन द गोल्फ ग्राउंड्स ऑन द पोलो ग्राउंड्स इन कराची एंड वहाँ पे मेहदी हसन साहब थे. मेहदी हसन साहब एट दैट टाइम वाज अ वेरी न्यू
probably just starting out. He
yes
must be
very young
in
and
his career.
upcoming.
Yeah,
और वो
yeah.
इतने सारे लोग आए, मतलब तकरीबन 1 लाख लोग वहाँ जमा हो गए. गेट तोड़ के लोग चले गए अंदर. बहुत ही ज़्यादा क्रेज था. सो ये सब देखते हुए नूरजहां जी कॉल्ड हिम अप एट हिज कराची हाउस फ्रॉम लाहौर एंड शी सेड कि तुम्हारी यहाँ बहुत दीवानगी है और तुम रुक जाओ यहाँ पे, अब वापस नहीं जाओ. तो उन्होंने बम्बे ना ने बोला भाई ये कैसा चीज़ है कहने वाली, क्योंकि जो डिसीजन मुझे लेना था हिंदुस्तान में रुकने का वो तो मैंने 1947 में ले लिया. अब 60s में आके आप क्या मुझे रोक रही है इतने सालों बाद. सो शी सेड नहीं, बहुत ज़रूरत है यहाँ गज़ल सिंगर को और सिंगर की, और मैं अपने लड़के के हाथ एक ब्लैंक चेक भेजती हूँ 9 फिल्म्स का. 9 फिल्मों का ब्लैंक चेक, मुँह मांगी रकम, और तुम उसे भर दो. So he said, "Bhai, I'm very grateful to such a generous offer, but it is near impossible." So he had to, of course, turn it down.
वापस आ गए.
बिल्कुल वापस आ गए.
That's so interesting. And but this also, brings us to this, that he was the first of the artists from India to start touring, right? So he invented this entire business of touring because there was no precedence to this कि कौन जाए, कैसे जाए,
Yes, it
सामान
was-
कैसे जाए, instruments कैसे जाए, वहाँ पे क्या होगा, वहाँ पे
Right.
कौन organize करेगा, क्योंकि
बिल्कुल.
the entire ecosystem did not exist of
That's true.
this thing,
So the
right?
ground workings of it was an experiment at that time.
जी.
और बहुत पहले की बात है 1956, which was in the peak of his career. उस वक्त he was the top singer, और फिर उन्होंने acting भी शुरू कर ली. As a hero he was coming on
जी,
screen with
जी.
his co-stars.
And even as a
Nurtan.
villain at times, right? एक
One, he had a
One, he
negative
had a
role
negative
in which he
role.
really evolved as an
Yes.
actor. Even I was surprised to see that. But अभी हम लोग एक बाद में video 2 play करेंगे जिसमें we'll give snippets of those acting as
Okay,
well.
okay.
So, but about the 1956 first global tour, someone approached him who became his first concert manager then, Mr. Nandi Duggal.
जी.
And I'm so fortunate that किताब लिखते वक्त जब मैं रिसर्च कर रही थी, लोगों के नंबर ढूंढ रही थी, तो नंदी दुग्गल was still around.
Oh.
In fact, उनका इंतकाल पिछले महीने हुआ. But when I was writing the book,
That's so fortunate that you could
yes,
actually,
and he was in
get
his
to know him.
90s, and he was so excited, and his memory was so sharp.
Okay.
And the kind of details he gave me about the concert is like a big adventure.
Yeah, I mean, for example, the time that they stopped the train and pulled him out, right?
He was taking a train from one city to Tanzania. उनका पहला concert tour East Africa में हुआ था, which was at that time a collection of African nations under British India. So you had Kenya, Tanzania, एंड नाइजीरिया। और तो वो एक ट्रेन लेके अपने ट्रूप के साथ दार इस्लाम जा रहे थे, और रास्ते में बीच में उनकी ट्रेन रोक दी गई, तो वो घबरा गए, व्हाट हैज हैपेंड, और लोग अंदर घुस गए और उनके कंपार्टमेंट में घुस गए। सो ही सेड, जी बताइए क्या हो गया है? तो ही सेड, हम लोग आपसे बहुत नाराज़ हैं कि आपके आइटिनरी में पता नहीं कौन कौन से शहर लिखे हुए हैं और आप हमारे शहर नहीं आ रहे परफॉर्म करने, आप इसी वक्त उतरिए। तो उनको रात तक पहुंचना था दार इस्लाम, तो स्ट्रेन जैकेट। और फिर उन्होंने उस शहर के लोगों ने कन्विंस किया कि हम अपनी गाड़ियां भेज देंगे टॉप स्पीड में आपको दार इस्लाम, मगर अभी उतर के आप परफॉर्म करिए। और उस शहर में ऑडिटोरियम भी नहीं था, दे जस्ट हैड वन सिनेमा हॉल, और सारे शहर के सारे लोग लग गए उसको प्रिपेयर करने के लिए, स्टेज, द ऑडियो सिस्टम, और अगर कुर्सियां काफ़ी नहीं है, लोग अपने घर से कुर्सियां उठा के लाए। I mean, they were just so excited that Talat Mahmood is in town and we have to make this happen. It was just amazing. And और भी बहुत किस्से उन्होंने बताए थे नंदी दुग्गल जी ने। जब वो लंदन गए for his UK tour, he was the first, one of the first, Lata Didi had already performed, one of the first Indian singers to perform at the Royal Albert Hall. And in the US when he went in the 60s and 70s, there used to be a very popular show, the Joe Franklin show, which is like the Jimmy Fallon show tonight that you have. So Joe Franklin had a studio in Broadway in Times Square. So Talat Nana was invited to be part of that talk show. So this was like an all-American show.
Right.
And Joe Franklin introduced him as the Frank Sinatra of India.
Wow.
And they spoke in English about ghazals, about Indian film music. और उनके बातचीत के बीच बीच में they played his soundtrack.
His soundtrack.
They played his Urdu ghazals and his songs, and then they went back to speaking in English.
Oh, that's the only time it happened that Urdu was played on.
Yeah. So there's
American
so many
television.
such interesting travel adventures in the book.
But he was deeply influenced by American music, and especially the black music, right?
Of course,
And
jazz
blues.
and blues, very
Right.
much.
And he had a whole collection of.
He had a whole
music.
collection of Frank Sinatra, Nat
who
King,
are his favorite singers?
Nat King Cole,
Oh.
Sinatra. He, of course, heard a bit of Beatle because his children were listening to that.
Okay.
but the world tours were also, I think, in my understanding when I studied it, they set the route map, the global route map for his other friends, because वो जब वापस आते थे बॉम्बे तो उनके दोस्तों में चर्चा होता था, लता दीदी, मुकेश जी, अरे तलत वापस आया, क्या सक्सेसफुल शो हुआ, सुना है, यहाँ बड़े टिकट बिके, वहाँ स्पॉन्सर मिला, यहाँ पे डिमांड है. So he kind of just set the global route map for his friends, for his colleagues and friends to follow suit कि तुम इस शहर में जाओ, यहाँ पे जाओ, कॉन्सर्ट होगा, वहाँ पे जाओ, कॉन्सर्ट होगा. So he kind of just like set the trail,
And he and Manna Dey were two people who were extremely, classically grounded in their music. So they also had a personal relationship. I guess आप बता रही थी कि you met
yes,
Manna
they were
Dey
very
along with
close friends. मन्ना डे साहब की एक कोट भी है किताब में, जब वो कह रहे थे कि जब हमने उनकी पहली गजल सुनी, तस्वीर तेरी, this is not the song of the film, this is the other private ghazal which is I'll try humming it a bit. तस्वीर तेरी दिल मेरा बहला न सकेगी, ये तेरी तरह मुझसे तो शर्मा न सकेगी. So Manna Dey says that when he first heard this song, and this was recorded during his Calcutta days in the 1940s, so Manna Dey said, I got jealous because I had never heard such a soft voice.
Yeah.
और मुझे लग रहा था कि कैसे कोई इतनी खूबसूरती से गाए, इतने softly, कि कि यहीं पास आके बैठ के गा रहा है कोई.
Wow.
So he said, I was very jealous of him. And then when I met him in Bombay later, I fell in love with him as a friend because he was such a lovely person और इतना खूबसूरत handsome आदमी था. So that is how he defined his friendship, that it was a friendship with a very beautiful person, a very soft-hearted person. And in Bombay, they had a very long association that not professionally, they didn't sing any song together,
Right.
and they had different career paths as well. But personally, in Bandra and hanging out and having conversations and all of that. So yeah.
Should we do another clip?
Yes, maybe you could play that Ghazal Tasveer. Yeah.
तस्वीर तेरी दिल मेरा बहला न सकेगी, तस्वीर तेरी दिल मेरा बहला न सकेगी, ये तेरी तरह मुझसे तो शर्मा न सकेगी, तस्वीर तेरी दिल मेरा बहला न सकेगी। मैं बात करूँगा तो ये खामोश रहेगी, सीने से लगा लूँगा तो ये कुछ न कहेगी, मैं बात करूँगा तो ये खामोश रहेगी, सीने से लगा लूँगा तो ये कुछ न कहेगी, आराम वो क्या देगी जो तड़पा न सकेगी, तस्वीर तेरी दिल मेरा बहला न सकेगी। ये आँखें हैं ठहरी हुई चंचल वो निगाहें, ये हाथ है सहमे हुए और मस्त वो बाहें, ये आँखें हैं ठहरी हुई चंचल वो निगाहें, ये हाथ है सहमे हुए और मस्त वो बाहें, परछाई तो इंसान के काम आ न सकेगी, तस्वीर तेरी दिल मेरा बहला न सकेगी। इन होठों को कई याद में कुछ कह न सकूं,
ये फैयाज हाशमी की
इस जुल्फ को मैं हाथ में भी ले न सकूंगा, इन होठों को कई याद में कुछ कह न सकूंगा, इस जुल्फ को मैं हाथ में भी ले न सकूंगा, उलझी हुई रातों न सकेगी, तस्वीर तेरी दिल मेरा बहला न सकेगी।